Um, Greetings, church. It's Kevin Duclairon again. I'm going to go ahead and lock my window here, and can't really hear me if there is a lot of noise coming from outside. I just woke up probably half hour, a few minutes ago. It is 6:35 in the evening, and I am in the process of writing an incident report right now. I just woke up a few minutes ago, and I had a long day today. Today is Monday, the 5th of October. Yesterday I had completed the sermon on the outside, sermon number 8 of Mark chapter, catching up on Mark chapter 4, 5, and 6. Tonight, though, today I went and saw my doctor at OHSU, and tried to, I didn't really get a chance to talk to him, but I talked to the other nurses and caught them up to date with what's been going on up in this apartment with this Haitian woman, and how, every night it's a romping in here. The government is opening the door to this apartment. This woman is coming in here and raping me, literally. They're gassing the apartment. They're beating my body. They're cutting my body, sticking needles in my body. I tried to explain that to the doctors and the nurses, but they don't give a shit because they're supporting Gabriel Franklin. As a matter of fact, the two doctors that I saw today, I think the male doctor is a Gabriel Franklin, or if not a Dion Franklin, and the female doctor is a Guy Franklin. This is how the homosexuals, they control my health, they control my employment. It's like they don't have a life of their own. They're Haitian people who don't have a life, and so they try to take control over my life through homosexuals. And these homosexuals who don't have a life of their own feel empowered at the fact that they now have control over my life because of the illness that they've put in my body. And so it's one person, it's like a domino effect. And so this is what they're doing, and with it comes MacArthur and his daughter Melinda and Grace Community Church and the gay community, and the whole kit and caboodle. And so I got really pissed off today, this morning when I woke up, at the fact that I was in pain. And when I went to see the doctor, they didn't, of course they gave me a shot here and a shot here, and they took blood here and they took blood here. And so I walked out of there already in pain. So they increased the pain, they didn't decrease it. Which is, I guess, their job as doctors to make sure that I'm healthy. But, it was no picnic for me. I took the pain that way. I'd rather have a doctor stick a needle in me while I'm awake to take my blood and to give me a shot than for some African woman to come into my apartment and of course assisted by doctors from her own family or nurses from her own family to give me shots that I'm not aware of. Dion Franklin is a known nurse and doctor in New York State. Marie-Annette Berger, supposedly her daughter is a known nurse in Geneva, Switzerland. And so those women would be pumping medication in my body to basically sabotage my body more than what they already have. So, and of course, Grace Community Church has a ton of doctors. They're in and out, and MacArthur himself, I think he might have his doctorate, but it doesn't mean that he hasn't dabbled in medication that would put people like me out of commission if they stuck a syringe in my body to control me as a black man. You have to understand, when they look at me, they're looking at a black African. And, and this is how they, as a church, are disciplining me for subjugation. This is subjugation. And so I've got a nigger in the background, a black woman who, with a white clan, has been chasing me all day. I went from OHSU after leaving there, and that was no picnic for me after getting poked here, poked here, poked here, and poked here. It was painful. And a couple of hours before that, they were sticking the needles, they were, cut me in the back and sticking needles under my feet. And so it's, they're homosexuals, and as homosexuals, they're uncompassionate people. They're a rotten, I call them rotten homosexuals and Klansmen who will never repent of their sin. They want subjugation, and because I have no parentage and no one, this is what they have. It's almost like, you will submit to us this way. You will submit to Guy Franklin and his mother, and take, I guess her name is Corell, the black girl that Dion Franklin gave birth to. And, I'm a light skin. I used to be light skinned. They've darkened my skin. They've darkened my complexion. And each year that I've known them, I was yellow. And each year that I've known this Haitian family and these American Klansmen, they've darkened it. They go from light yellow to now brown yellow and dark yellow, and they've gotten me darker and darker and darker, because the Franklin family is a black-skinned family. They're a dark-skinned family, and they submitted to MacArthur, and they submitted to the gay community, and this is what they're doing now. So anyway, I went to OHSU and to do a checkup. I sort of felt like I walked away with a warning, sort of like a warning. I don't know why I felt that in my heart, but it's like I couldn't talk to the doctor himself about what Gabriel was doing, because it's like I'd be reporting to the woman what she was doing. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't like feeling that. I like to have the doctor as the doctor, and not as, playing the role of this Haitian woman. At one point in the interview, I sort of felt like, or the consultation, I sort of felt like she was getting aroused by his voice. I don't know if it's because he sounds like a girl or not, but and the man in him didn't come out, but she was getting excited, and I could feel it, and I was just like, why am I felt disgusted when I sat in the seat, because I was just like, is it your voice or is it her spirit? Because I'm not exactly sure which of the two was it, if it was him or if it was her. But I felt nasty, you know what I'm saying? After leaving OHSU, I went to Reach, and who did I run into but the former manager of the West Shore Apartments? And I told you I was going to run into her because they had it planned, because I met one of the men, and then I met another one of the men, and then came her. I didn't have a problem with her. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know who the woman is, but I think what the community had done was, because I was in her apartment complex, and either she was being judged or they were doing it on purpose, they chopped off the back of my hair here. Look at the back of my head carefully. Okay, you see the back of my head here? It is completely, from here, chopped up. So they allow this part to grow, but this here is like flat. They just completely chop it up because they don't want it to grow. Okay, now, whether or not, now most men, what they do in today's society, most men would cut their hair completely short. But I rebelled, and I was pissed on the fact that this woman would put her hands on me and start chopping off my hair. So I decided I'm going to let it grow, just out of rebellion, just to see what they do. And day after day, week after week, month after month, they come into wherever I was sleeping at, and they chop off the hair, and they cut it, and they cut it, and they do whatever it is back there. They would elongate it, in like a porcupine, and she would play with it. And this woman has this morbid, emotional attachment that she uses. And the women who are just as emotional as she is, and she's an 80-year-old woman who's playing with their emotions. She plays with them, and they laugh, and I'm thinking, these are a sick bunch of people. You understand? They're a bunch of sick fucking people, because they don't understand that I don't know them. I don't want them. I despise and I hate them openly, publicly. And if I could, I would kill every single one of them. I would gun down Guy Franklin and his mother. I would gun down John MacArthur and his staff. I would gun down these women if I knew who they were and where they were at. But I don't. They followed me it's almost like they set it up. I took the tram from OHSU down to this other part of the city of Portland, and reach the other housing development has an office in that area. So I walked in there and I grabbed a list of the housing just to see if I could get perhaps get some housing, right? They have an entire list here. But what I didn't calculate was that Reach was still siding with Gabrielle Franklin and what she had done. Every single one of these housing places, look at the list. Look at how extensive of a list it is, right? Look at how many. Not one of these housing places, after calling them, was available for me to even talk to a manager. They had it down to a T. You understand what I'm saying? They had it down to a T as to, you know, I mean, I'm not going to go into details, but just trust me on this, is that they even had orange. Look at this now. Look at this apartment. Everybody in America knows that the color orange is Gabrielle's color, because that was the outfit that she sent, and I rejected the outfit because she was standing there holding hands with an old, with another old European woman. And when she sent the letter and she sent the photographs of her and Guy Franklin and the rest of their family at some wedding, I don't know whose wedding it was, but this was a while back. I sent all the pictures back, and I didn't want pictures of their family. And so the color orange has been honored by the gay community ever since. So now when you look at this picture, what do you see here, right? What do you see there? Orange what? Pillows in the living room and orange pillows in the bedroom. And so, you know, people who know how to read would see that as a Gabrielle apartment, right? As a Gabrielle apartment. Well, and if you look at the top there, what did I write? Sexual assault is a crime. Right there, right? Sexual assault is a crime. And so I didn't honor what I saw in the photograph here from Reach, right? From Reach, I didn't honor it at all. And so I went through every single one of these, and as you can see, I crossed them out. I crossed them out because they would not answer the phone, right? And of course, I don't have a telephone of my own, and I have to go to a Reach I had to go to a home forward office to make the call. And when I saw it, you know, I couldn't honor it. Every single one of these pictures that they had was in honor of this Haitian woman. When you look there, do you see orange there? Look carefully. I'm not going to point it out. Do you see it? Okay. When you look at this picture here, do you see orange there? Okay. This was my previous apartment complex before this one right here. Okay. Do you see orange there? Okay. That's how they communicate with each other in this gay community. All right. They use the color orange, and all to show that they honor the fact that she's a cocksucker. They honor, you know, the people who wear orange, and that's the way they honor the sexual assault. They honor the fact that this woman has molested me. They honor the fact that, you know, they stand with her sexual immorality. They stand with what she's doing. They stand with her rebelling against the word of God and against me. So anyway, I left. I left Reach office and went to the library, and on my way there, I wrote this prayer right here. Okay, and I want to show it to you because this is what it became. It went from the back of the Reach packet. As you can see, I put an X there, and 2015, I didn't get an apartment from Reach. Even though at the top there, I wrote, "Thy will be done." Right? I want you to see what happened here. Thy will be done. You see that? But God did not honor it. So for trying to maintain the Christian theme in my own life, knowing that this Negro is just chasing after me with a bunch of old African American women. So all of these old African American women, all of these gay white males, it's gay white males and old African American women are all African women. And it's like, there's a whole parade of them. And, you know, it seems as if they are all, they're all in this together, you know, to make life a living hell for me. And they're doing it on purpose. For what reason? I don't know. But, you know, this is one of the most ungodly things I've ever seen done to a man during the course of my lifetime. I mean, you know, Guy Franklin is a spineless, heartless, cocksucking homosexual who I will never respect for as long as I live. I hate his mother, and I hate him openly. Even as a Christian, the Bible says we're not supposed to hate. We're supposed to love our neighbors. I absolutely hate him and his family. I mean, I'm 44 years old, and this man and his mother is sneaking into my home to molest me, abuse me, hit me. And if it's not him, it's the homosexual community of Portland, or it's the homosexual community of Seattle, or it's the homosexual community of whatever city I'm living in. I live in the city of Sodom. I could be on the bus and they start talking shit to me, or I'm on the train, they start talking shit to me indirectly while they're pretending to be on the telephone. They start mouthing off to me, dropping me hints and dropping me notes. They change their voices, they change their spirits to sound like they're little girls, and to sound like, and then it's like, as if they're Gabriel Franklin, or they're impersonating Gabriel Franklin right out in front of everybody. It's not even a private thing. These European American clanswomen, or these gay women, are doing this. And I thought to myself, what kind of sick, sadistic, they do this all day. They do it in the doctor's office. They do it at at Labor Ready at work. They do it in the church. I walk into the church and they start moaning and groaning and acting sexual and like they're getting off. And I'm thinking, what kind of sick people are these? But this is what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? This is the sickness that has entered into the hearts of you American people to defend an old Negro who doesn't know her place. An old Negro who doesn't know the fact that she's violating my rights. You understand what I'm saying? What was the point of having a Martin Luther King Day? What was the point of having a Martin Luther King anything, right? I mean, you Africans out there know more than anybody, and they're always showing me their backside. You know what I'm saying? I come walking in and automatically they're showing me their ass, or they're showing me their backside. This is African American women. You know what I'm saying? I went to the what is it called? The Home Forward office. Okay, and there they are, the African men and African women, and it's almost like everything is indirect, but it's an insult. You know what I mean? It's an insult to see it. And part of me feel like, you should have stayed as a slave, because you haven't changed any. You haven't changed any. I mean, here you are, you're supposed to be a free people, and look at how you're behaving. Here you are, supposedly a free race, a free community, and this is how now you're ganging up on me, right? I mean, this is the people who were spat on and beaten and set on fire and lynched and burned. Now here they are turning on me because I don't want to be the partner of a sexual old woman who can't seem to get enough of sucking my dick and jerking me off and touching on my body and passing on whatever diseases she's gotten from sleeping with whoever. Even though she's in her 80s, she's fucking everybody that's out there. Pardon my French, church, but I have to be upfront with these people. And I'm having to, and I'm being reduced to this. This morning, I avoided writing one of these. And at the bottom of it, I just told the manager, you need to hit these people. And here I am in the afternoon. I come home after typing up after typing this up. They wouldn't allow me to print this. Okay, they wouldn't allow me to print this prayer. The prayer says this: Lord, bless me with a home where I can rest. Cook a meal. Cook a good meal, and cook a good meal to eat. Right? A home where I can pray, study the Word, and do the ministry that you have given me in Portland. And I think they might have put their hands on this thing here. It says. And anyway, the prayer says, Father, bless me with a roomy apartment that is not too small, but large enough for me to walk through without bumping into furniture, blah, 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 blah. Lord, give us some protection. It talks about, just a general prayer that a man of God would pray. And when I tried to pray, and when I tried to print it, 3 times I couldn't print it because they wouldn't allow me to print it at Kinko's, right? And finally I went up to the counter and I'm just like, what's going on here? Why is it that I can't print? I can't use my debit card to print this prayer, right? Why is it? And so they it took me like an hour to print a 12 cent, 59 cent. They made a big huge deal out of it because they didn't want me to have I'll put this online so you can read it. You know what I'm saying? But you feel violated. You know what I'm saying? That you can't even write a prayer, print a prayer, unto God as to what you want. So they decide to judge me for the prayer. And I come home, they gassed the apartment. I didn't know the apartment was gassed. They gassed the apartment, and as I was breathing it, I felt tired. And the more tired I felt, and of course I'm skipping a lot of things, and the more tired I felt, the fact that I went to the mall and bought some food, and of course there was this whole thing with Safeway, with thievery and stealing, and I'm not even going to get into all of that, but bottom line is what I'm trying to get into. I come home and I decided to snooze for half an hour. I figured I'd wake up at 5:30 and just open my eyes. They're controlling the antenna system here, so they control whether or not I can watch television or not. They control whether or not the TV, if I submit to the homosexual mentality, and they know when I submit and they know when I don't submit. And so if I submit to the homosexual mentality as if I'm in some kind of a sick gay relationship with this Haitian woman, then they'll allow me to watch the movie. It's like they control what I watch, what I don't watch. And it's the same thing with DVDs. They control whether or not the DVD is permitted to play. They control whether or not I work for labor. They control. It's almost like they're in this control trip of, we have to be in control of your life. We have to be in control of your family. You cannot pray to this God of yours to get a family, because we'll make sure through our cocksucking homosexual community, because that's what it is. It is a cocksucking homosexual community. And this morning I was going off at the fact that all of these people in Portland, Oregon, all of these homosexuals are supporting this cock-sucking thing that this woman is doing, because her whole life is about sucking my cock, because that's what brings her that's the door that she comes through into my life. I don't have a relationship with her. I denounced her as a child. I denounced her as a man. I rejected her. I never embraced her. I never took her as a friend. I never took her as a family member. I'm not married to her or to members of her family. And so the woman is rejected. The woman has been, it's like throwing out a dog, and the dog comes coming back, sniffing at your door again. You kick the dog and you remove the dog, and the dog comes back again. And no matter how many times you beat the dog and spit on the dog, finally you shoot and kill the damn thing and throw it out in the road, because she won't stop coming back. When I was a child, her son Max Henry took me. I was about 5 years old, and put me in the middle of the street while it was pouring rain and left me there. My mother had to come and listening to me weeping and crying. My mother had heard me from her house and came and got me out of the street from where her oldest son Max Henry had dumped me. They removed me out of their house. This is how my relationship with this family began at the age of 5. We have never been a family. We have always been going in opposite direction. This old woman now, before she dies, swears up and down that she is going to do whatever it takes to make me leave America and to force me to subject myself to her. Okay, she's trying to be the Julia of the Julia of my own life, because she had to submit to a Haitian woman who was I guess she was a mulatto woman of some sort. And she had to submit to her. So now, all this time, she's trying to get me to submit to her. She's trying to put her shoes on my feet. In other words, that she had to take care of old white people. She's trying to make me, it's like everything that she endured in this country, both her and her gay son, this is what they're trying to force. It's like, remember the story of Cinderella, where the sisters Grisilla and whatever the two sisters were, they were trying to force their feet into the shoes of Cinderella. Okay, that's what her and her daughters and her son have been doing with me. It's like they're trying to push my feet inside of their gay shoes. You know what I'm saying? And everything that they can possibly do to force my feet inside of their gay shoes, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing everywhere. And the homosexuals who love to persecute people, the homosexuals who love to hurt people, beat people, they sit there, we want our gay rights and we want our equal rights, and they sit there and they cry about gay rights and equal rights and gay rights and equal rights, when it's the complete opposite. It's them who are persecuting the churches, and it's them who are hurting members of the clergy and hurting members of the body of Christ. When we, it's almost like they come into our churches and they have sex with each other in the bathroom, and they have sex with each other in the offices. They have sex with each other on the church properties. They have sex with each other everywhere so that they can tell all of their queer buddies that it's okay to come to such and such church because the community is there. They don't even call themselves LGBT. Now they have the name LGBTQ, right? Lesbian, bisexual, transgender, gay, queer, something community. Okay, so they bring themselves into our world, and when they know they've been rejected, anywhere they feel rejected, they come with force and they come with power to take over, because we're not going to take this thing down, and we're not going to accept this, and we're going to, and I thought to myself, this is ridiculous. As I was on the train going to, where was I going? I think I was crossing the river to go buy this frame here at the dollar store. And of course, even at the dollar store, they came out, the African American community came out again for this Haitian woman, Gabrielle Franklin. And Melinda was telling me, oh, you should cooperate with the gay community and go to 122nd Street, and go, for the Social Security disability income you're getting, you should go over there and suck them off. And I'm thinking, no, and my rebuttal to her, well, why don't you go and have sex with Lance Quinn, who was a former elder of Grace Community Church. I said, why don't you go have sex with Lance Quinn and give him a son? Because she's the one that they've been using for 18 to 16 years to tell me, warning me, you need to go have sex across the river. You better go have sex here. And when I told the police department of Seattle, when this whole thing started, why is this woman telling me to go have sex and I'm being judged when I don't listen to her voice? So I told her today, no, I don't care, that wasn't my prayer. My prayer, when you read my prayer here, there's nothing in my prayer that gives these homosexuals any indication that I want them in my life. My prayer is not for the gay community, period. My prayer, they're a sodomite community. They don't understand they're in trouble with God. They've been turned over. And as a life of turnovers, I didn't pray for them. I didn't pray for them to be in my future. And apparently the Franklin family, this is how they get their families, right? This is how blacks get their families, is by submitting to white gay men and Klansmen. And this is how white men get their families, by having sex with their mothers. And pretending to be gay or being gay. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you not, and I'm telling you this, church, and I'm telling you this as a society and a community and government, I'm not with any of that. I come home and they drug me, and they break I want to show you what they did. They stick a needle under the palm of my foot, and they stick a needle under the palm of my foot. And then I discovered this. This was, nobody wants to come into their living room and discover this. Look at this. This was really interesting. I thought, oh God, how much worse can it get? Look at this. All right? How much worse can it get? This, I was sleeping right here, and now, look at this. You see this? I thought, oh my God, how did they do this? How did they do this? When did they do this? When did they do this, and how did they do this? I couldn't understand how they did this and when they did this. But when I heard the crack, right? When I woke up, I heard I got up and I felt I heard the crack. I'm thinking, I didn't do this. Who did this? Why did they do this? And of course the sleeping gas comes from where? Right here. Right there. That's where the sleeping gas comes from. And I was sitting here watching this. They control the television and they control the sleeping gas from here. And now they've broken this seat here. So I thought to myself, God, this thing is never going to come to an end, right? This thing is never going to come to an end with these people, because they have no life of their own. They figure out, as long as I'm single and I'm not married, then they still have a shot at controlling me. As long as I'm single and I'm not married, then they have a shot in returning me back to Haiti and telling me what to do. As long as I'm single, they have a shot in damaging my future. You understand what I'm saying? John MacArthur is full throttle with it. And the members of his congregation are with it. And I tell you people who are out there that are international, who are not a part of this homosexual community, who don't know anything about this gay community, who's living their own international lives. Be careful of Europeans and be careful of Christians or people pretending to be Christians. Be careful of people pretending to be part of the Christian religion. Be careful of white homosexuals, men who are very good looking and who are very attractive. Be careful of the gay ones, because if they present themselves to you as gay, there's another side where they will betray you with members of your family. If a gay man comes out on you and presents himself sexual toward you, it's not him. It's probably somebody from your family who wants to have sex with you and is using this white male who says, if you submit, I'll give it to him. And so if you don't know the system, I'd be very careful. So this is a warning video to you internationals there. I'm not just crying on this video. I'm giving you a warning. These people are evil in this country. Sodom is out. Sodom is alive. Sodom is stronger than it's ever been. Sodom has not folded. I mean, God did destroy Sodom in the Old Testament, but Sodom is alive and well today, right? Just like the gay clan is alive and well today, slavery is alive and well today. It is raging. It is booming. Satan is not, dropping his guards. Those are his weapons of warfare against God and his church. The Sodomite community of America is alive and well, and Satan is doing all that he can. He is hurting Christians. I don't have a full-time job. I have a part-time labor job. I'm 44 years old. I don't have a career. I didn't make it. You understand what I'm saying? When I was in high school, they told me that I was the one most likely to succeed, right? It didn't happen. Nanuet high school students followed me out of New York State just to make sure I didn't graduate out of seminary, just to make sure that I wasn't one of the people who became a pastor. You want to see how petty they are? You want to see how petty this Haitian family is? They'll go as far as, and these MacArthur's and community, they'll go as far as taking something as simple as an art, right? An art thing. See this right here? This came in. You know where I won this? I won this at a hospital, a mental hospital. I went to a mental hospital in Seattle. When they arrest you in Seattle, they put you in jail for 40 days. And then they put you in a mental hospital. And in the mental hospital, we played I think it was like some sort of a game or a raffle game of some sort. And I won it there. When I got this, right, it was like this. Over the course of time, this is what Gabriel Franklin did. Okay? This is the kind of woman that I'm dealing with. And now this is what she's working on. Okay? This is how petty these people are. This is how petty, this is what they spend their lives doing. When an old woman and an old homosexual have nothing better to do, they come into your house, they rip, they break, they destroy, they smash, and it's always their anger. They're feeding their anger, and it's always, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm pissed off, I'm pissed off, I'm pissed off. And they feed off of that. And they love it, and for them, that's the life that they live. The life of pissed off and always pissed off, always in the flesh. Always in the flesh, walking in the flesh and sticking needles. I wish somebody would stick a needle in Gabriel Franklin. I wish somebody would stick needles all over her body, but it's not just her. It's the homosexual community. That's their serpent. That's their serpent as a homosexual community. She's one of them. And it's almost like if every single one of them had a box of needles, they would stay there and they would stick you with the needle to bite you like a serpent. If they dipped it in venom, and stuck it on you, they're just a wicked, malicious, violent people. Don't ever give in to them, church. Don't ever submit to them, church. Don't ever embrace them, church. Don't ever love them, because they are the enemy and they are a hateful people. The women are hateful. The men are hateful. And if you don't want to lust on them and eat their flesh, they judge you. If you don't want to associate with them, they judge you. If you don't want to embrace their sin, they judge you. If you don't want to have sex with your own mother, they judge you. Now they have movies where the actors are playing the role of your mother and asking whether or not you want to sleep with your mother. These are sick people. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are sick people. God frowns on that, church. God frowns on that. When they start communicating to you on whether or not you want to have sex with your father's young women, say no and turn off the damn thing. Now, American television is not entertainment. It's a conversation box of whether or not you want to fuck your dad, or you want to fuck your mom, or you want to sleep with your sister, or you want to eat your brother while he's asleep. Well, do you want it? Do you want to eat your brother while he's asleep? Do you want to eat your daddy while he's asleep? Do you want to fuck your dad while he's asleep? And it's a conversation about sex, whether or not you want to fuck your brother or fuck your mother, and it's almost like, and I had no idea that's what was going on. I had no idea that's what was going on. And I warn you, as a brother in the faith, even though the homosexuals don't see me as a minister, because ministers of God would never tell you this. They rush it under the carpet because they don't want to get fired. They don't want to lose their job. They don't want to lose their payment. They won't say anything to you about it. They'll take it as a hit. They know the language. They know the lingo. Any European or African American or Asian or Spanish leader that is leading the church today knows everything that I'm saying is true. But they will never bring it up to you in conversation. They will avoid you like avoiding the plague, so that they don't ever have to attest to it, because they know this community will punish them, judge them, and remove them out of office. And that's what I would not embrace. That's the reason why I'm not in full ministry today. It is because of this very reason. These sodomites have taken control over the body of Christ. You who love Jesus, you better stay in. You better shut your mouth and not say anything to the world or to the members of the congregation that you're in about loving Christ and loving God. Because that community, when it catches up to you, they're going to turn you into a Kevin Duclairon. And you don't want to be a Kevin Duclairon. You don't want to be a Kevin Duclairon crying on the internet against the gay community, against the sodomites of our modern day America. Okay? So, for what it's worth, whether the hit is on this level, or 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 the hit is on, you understand what I'm saying? This is what they're doing today. That's the opposition. This is how Satan is hitting us today, church. The devil who hides behind, the one behind it all is the devil. And the devil uses his demonic spirits and the sins of man to do what they're doing. So I give you caution, those of you who believe. I give you caution, those of you who care. Those of you who believe in Christ and who love God, I give you caution. Be careful of this community. Be careful of them. Do not embrace them. Do not embrace their sin if you can withstand them, right? This Haitian woman, I feel her inside and I feel her outside. And everywhere I go, there she is. She's protected by this community. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to finish writing this when I come back, because I'm going to upload this video for you. And you already know all of this. But I tell you this as a warning, as a brother in the faith, and so that you watch your back, because these people they're watching your back, right? I don't know if anybody's watching your back, but I tell you this, and tell you, those of you who are prayer warriors, keep me in your prayer. Those of you who love God, and who love Christ. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and try to keep you up to date. As far as other ministry things that I would normally do, write books and sermons, I'm pushing that aside for now, because of the fact that as soon as I write anything down, they come in and they take it. They take the manuscript and they take the work that I do, and I don't know what they're doing with it. My books don't sell. My books don't sell because of what they're doing. My books don't sell. I'm dealing with queer men who don't care about godliness. Queer women who don't care about godliness. The only thing they care about is a hard cock in their rectum or in their vaginas or in their mouths. That's all they care about, is sex or subjugation or slavery, somebody submitting to them. That's the world they live in. They live in a world where cock is God, right? Ass is God, and slavery is their socialism, right? That's how that's their interaction with internationals. If it's not in that context every single day, then they don't have any reason to live. As for me and my house, we don't go that way. We go the biblical way. We go the church way. It's unfortunate that I don't have any friends or family that I can share my faith with, or that could stand with me, because of the fact that this situation has occurred. So I tell you this as an encouragement, as a warning, and take it for what it's worth. I don't know what the week is going to be like. I don't know what the month is going to be like. This is Halloween month. All sorts of crazy things happen during Halloween. All sorts of evil things happen during Halloween. People do malicious things during Halloween. I even went as far as purchasing Elvira here. When you look at my window, I'll show you here. If you look at my window here, I have Elvira and this other monstrous guy. they're sort of like, you know, they're having their hands around each other, sort of type. But and of course I've got my little I've got a skeleton. You see, there's a little skeleton here, and I bought this other cup. Oh gee, my cup is missing. I bought this here for and it's filled with candy. Very little bit of candy, but that's what I put in there. It's my house of ooh, you know. Anyway, I want to show you one more thing. There it is. That's the cup, huh? Doesn't it look good? Looks just like John MacArthur. I hate the man. I absolutely hated him. You know what? When the last dealing with him, he gave me there was a magazine. I don't remember if it was Time magazine or what kind of magazine that it was, but it had the head of a skeleton on it. And I think I was about 25 or 26 or something like that, and I was scared. I was petrified because I thought he was threatening my life. I had no idea it was the terminal illness that he was going to put in my body that he was talking about. The man absolutely hates me and despises me. So, you know, of course, this is my defiled bed. You know, you already know all of that because I've already given it to you on several other videos. In any case, I'm going to turn this off now, right? And may God be with you this week, church, and for the rest of the month. All right? But even when you don't see me online, know that I'm enduring this. Right? I mean, I give you all the details. Even when you see me walking in the streets, I'm enduring it. Okay? I'm enduring it every day because these people, they don't have a life. And they will stand in between me and the church for as long as they can because they're a bunch of lifeless, wicked people. They have no hope in Christ. They have no hope in God. They have nothing to offer us except for their contaminated flesh. They have nothing to offer us except for their diseases, their sicknesses, their disobedience, their unloving ways. They have nothing to offer us except for sin and death. Stay away from that community. Don't associate with that community. Don't embrace that community. When they come among you and in the body of Christ, expose their sin. Expose their sin. Expose everything that they do. And don't embrace it. You know, I'm fighting it every day for the Social Security disability income and for the food stamps. This is what I've been reduced to. I was a master seminary student working as a youth pastor back then. Today, God, I cannot believe how far I've fallen, you know, from grace. You know, it's like, how far can the apple fall from the tree? You know, that type of mentality. Anyway, you guys have a good week.